Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. So you made it through the first week of your home learning, so well done. That's fantastic. And that means 1 week down, 1 week closer to when we're going to be back in school, which is something to celebrate, I think. So we're going to start our last English lesson for the week today, and we've been thinking about our apostrophes all week, haven't we? We've been learning about 2 different types of apostrophe. I'm just going to share my screen with you now. Here we go, and put my slideshow from the beginning. So today we're going to deepen our learning about apostrophes. So we now know what the 2 different types are, and we have practiced using both of them. But now to deepen that understanding so that we know it a little bit better, we are going to learn to know the difference between the possessive apostrophe and the contracted form of an apostrophe. So to be able to do that, we need to be able to state and remember again what the meaning of both types of those is. We need to be able to classify, which means to sort both types. And we need to be able to identify when both types have been used correctly or incorrectly. So that's what we're going to do today. So first of all, we're going to try and remember what did both of the types of apostrophe mean. So can you have a think in your head? You might want to pause the video to have a think. What was the contracted form of an apostrophe? What did that mean? Pause and have a think. I wonder if you can say that out loud. If you can either say it to me and I will try my best to hear you from my house, or you might have an adult there that you could say it to as well. What was the contracted form of an apostrophe? I hope that you said that it is when 2 words join together to make one new word, and the apostrophe is used to get rid of some of those letters and make it shorter. So you watched this video, which I hope you enjoyed. And do you remember well, I don't know what it is, some sort of machine comes along and knocks out some of the letters and replaces those letters with an apostrophe and makes the word shorter. So well done if you remembered that. You might not have said it in exactly my words, but hopefully you said something similar. So the contracted form, 2 short words put together to make one word using an apostrophe. And the next type, what was a possessive apostrophe? What did that mean? Have a little pause, have a think. What was the possessive apostrophe? What did that mean? So you can tell me and I will try and hear you, or you could tell somebody around you, or you could tell a cuddly toy, you could tell something or someone what the possessive apostrophe is. Let's see if you were right. Hopefully you said that the possessive apostrophe is used to show when something belongs to someone. So for example, Mrs. Clark's new sofa. Could do with some plumping up of the cushions there at the back, but there it is in its full glory. So we use the apostrophe in Clark's to show that the sofa belongs to Mrs. Clark. And you came up with your own examples, which was fantastic. Well done. So we've done the first success criteria. We can say what each different type of apostrophe means and how we use it. So well done to us. So the next thing I want us to do is I'd like you to just pause the video in a second and draw yourself a table like mine. So you can see I've got 2 columns in my table, and I have got 1 column which says as its title contracted and 1 column that says as its title possessive. So you want to use a ruler to make it super neat, but you draw your table with 1 line across using your ruler. It's a bit hard for me to do that on a whiteboard. And then 1 line down your piece of paper, straight as you can, not like mine. Then you're going to write contracted in one side and possessive on the other. Okay, so you've got the one that I've shown on the PowerPoint, which is much neater, and how yours should look. So can you pause the video now and draw yourself a table, please? Off you go. Right, well done. Now you've done that, we are going to have a look at some sentences. And I would like you to write which side you think these sentences should go in. Now, to make it a bit easier, and if you've got a printer, you could print off the sentences and you could just stick them on either side. If you want to take away the barrier of writing, that's up to you. And obviously you do need a printer to be able to do that. I don't have a printer at home, so I can't do that. So let's have a look at our sentences, shall we? Okay, I will read them to you. You have got two choices here. One, you can pause the video now and read them through on your own and have a go at sorting them. Or choice two, we can go through them together. I'll read them to you and you can pause after each one and then you can write them in your table. Okay, depending on if you've got anybody else there to help you or if you feel confident on doing it on your own. So, first sentence. He didn't remember leaving it there. Which column is that going to go in? Is that going to go in your contracted form, or is it going to go in your possessive apostrophe column? Have a think, pause the video now and write that down. Do you think it's going to go in your contracted column or in your possessive column? Just going to write my table out a bit neater so you can see. Off you go, pause the video and write that one down. Okay, second sentence then. Second sentence. It isn't very sunny outside today. It isn't very sunny outside today. Is that going to go in your contracted column or your possessive column? Have a think. Is that two words together for your contracted, or does the apostrophe show that something belongs to someone? Pause the video now and have a go at writing it in the right column. Well done. Right, third sentence. Why aren't you going to go swimming today? Why aren't you going to go swimming today? Which one is that one? Is that your contracted form, two words joining together, or is that apostrophe showing that something belongs to someone? Which one? Pause the video now and write that down. Right, fourth sentence. Are you ready? My mum's new car is bright blue. My mum's new car is bright blue. Have a think. Is that apostrophe in mum's? Is that showing two words that have been put together? Or is it possessive? Does it show that something belongs to somebody? Pause the video now and write that sentence in the correct column, please. Right, next sentence then. Have you seen Harry's new BMX bike? Have you seen Harry's new BMX bike? Have a think. Does that sentence belong in the contracted column, or does it belong in the possessive column? Does it show two words joined together, or does it show that something belongs to somebody? Pause the video now and write it in the correct column. Right, on to our next sentence now. Harriet's English work yesterday was amazing. Harriet's English work yesterday was amazing. Have a think. Which one is it? Is that apostrophe showing the contracted form, two words joined together, or does it show that something belongs to somebody? Pause the video now and write it in the right one. Right, next sentence. They weren't alone anymore. They weren't alone anymore. Oh, goodness me, which one does that belong to? Are we going to put it in our contracted column? Or are we going to put it in our possessive column? So contracted, is it two words joined together? Possessive, does it mean that something belongs to someone? Off you go, pause the video, have a go at writing it in the right column. Right, next sentence. They couldn't believe that both their engines had broken. They couldn't believe that both their engines had broken. Oh my goodness me, have a think. Which one is it? Is it the contracted form, two words joining together to make one? Or is it the possessive form where it shows that something belongs to someone? Have a think, write it down, pause the video now. Right, last two sentences now. First one, won't it be lovely when we go back to school? Won't it be lovely when we go back to school? Which one is that one? Is that the contracted form? Or is it the possessive form? Pause the video now and write it in the correct column. Right, last sentence. Emily's presentation in her home learning work is outstanding. And it is, it's amazing. Emily's presentation in her home learning work is outstanding. So, have a think, last sentence, is that apostrophe being used to show the contracted form? Or is it being used to show the possessive form? Pause the video for the last time and write which one you think it should go into. Well done, that's quite a lot of writing, so superstars if you managed to finish all those sentences, that's fantastic. So hopefully you've managed to sort them into each side. Shall we have a look now and see if you were correct? So the first one, he didn't remember leaving it there. That is the contracted form because didn't is two words joined together, isn't it? Did and not have become didn't. So if you got that in the contracted form, give yourself a little self 5. Next one. It isn't very sunny outside today. That one is also the contracted form because isn't is the word is and not have joined together to make the word isn't. So well done if you got that one right. You can give yourself a pat on the back. Next one. Why aren't you going to go swimming today? That is also the contracted form because aren't is are and not. They've joined together to make the word aren't. So well done. If you manage to do that, you can give yourself a marshmallow clap. Ready? Are you going to eat your marshmallow? I'm going to eat mine. Ooh. Oh, spongy. Well done. Right, next one then. My mum's new car is bright blue. Now that one is a possessive apostrophe because the new car belongs to my mum. So that should go in your possessive column, shouldn't it? So if you got that one correct, you can give yourself a ketchup clap. Super. Well done. Next one. Have you seen Harry's new BMX bike? That one is also possessive because the BMX bike belongs to Harry, doesn't it? So that apostrophe is showing that the BMX bike belongs to Harry. So if you got that one right, I think you can give yourself a tremendous. Ready? Tremendous. Super. Well done. Right, next sentence. Harriet's English work yesterday was amazing. That one is a possessive because the English work belongs to Harriet, doesn't it? So that's Harriet's English work. That apostrophe is showing us it belongs to Harriet. Well done. If you got that one correct, I think we'll go with a fantastic. Ready? Fantastic. Well done, superstars. Right, next one. They weren't alone anymore. This one is a contracted form because the word weren't, it's got the words were and the word not joined together to make the word weren't. So it's a contracted one, isn't it? Running out of celebrations we could do, so I think we'll go back to a self 5. Ready? Fantastic. Right, next sentence, 3 more to go. They couldn't believe that both their engines had been broken. That is also a contracted form, isn't it? Because the word couldn't is the word could and not joined together to make the word couldn't. So if you got that one, you can give yourself a pat on the other side of your back this time. Well done. Right, second to last sentence now. Won't it be lovely when we're back to school together? Won't it be lovely when we go back to school? Yes, it will be lovely. But that one is a contracted form because the word won't is a difficult one, but it's basically will and not joined together to make it's an irregular one, but it is a contracted form, so it means that the apostrophe is getting rid of the O in the word not, isn't it? So that is a contracted one. So well done if you got that one, because that was a little bit more tricky. I think you can give yourself another ketchup clap because they're my favourites. Right, last one. Emily's presentation in her home learning work is outstanding. Emily's presentation in her home learning work is outstanding. Now that one is possessive because it's the presentation that belongs to Emily. That's Emily's presentation. So the apostrophe is showing us that the presentation belongs to Emily. So that is a possessive one. So for the last one, if you got that one correct, let's do a double fantastic. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Well done if you got all those right. So you can see mine looks a bit like this. So hopefully yours is looking similar. So if you want to have a look at this on your own to make sure that you got them right, maybe I was going too quickly for you, then you can always refer back and you can see how mine looks. So hopefully yours looks something like mine. And if you've got time, you can even go and underline the words that are using the apostrophe. Right, last thing we're going to do today, we're going to play a little game. So in front of you, you just need some scrap paper, and I would like you to split your scrap paper in half, and you can draw on one piece of scrap paper a smiley face, and on one piece of scrap paper an upside down smiley face, otherwise known as a sad face. So can you do that on 2 pieces of scrap paper? And then what I would like you to do is we are going to play a game where we look at a sentence and we see whether we think the apostrophe has been used correctly or not. Okay, so if you think it has been used correctly, you're to hold up to the screen your smiley face. If you think it hasn't been used correctly, you're to hold up your upside down smiley face. Okay, so you might want to pause the video now to make sure you've got that ready, and then we're going to play our game. Right, off we go. Ready? First one. Correct or incorrect? There are 14 boys and 15 girls in Dragonfly's class. There are 14 boys and 15 girls in Dragonfly's class. Oh, have a look at that one. Can you hold up either your smiley face to say you think that's correct, or your sad face to say you think it's incorrect? It's quite fun, isn't it? I appear from behind The whiteboard? Right, let's see if you were right. Ready? Let's see what I think. Oh, I have said it is incorrect. Now, you might want to pause the video if you've got time and just chat to whoever's around you about why you think that's incorrect. But this S here is being used to show that there are lots of boys. There are 14 boys, more than one boy in Dragonfly's class. So we don't need an apostrophe, because if an S is being added onto the end of a word to show that there's more than one of something, or a plural as we would call it, then that means we don't need an apostrophe to show that. And that's a common mistake that and even some adults use that sometimes. And it's not quite right. We shouldn't use an apostrophe when we are talking about more than one of something. So that is a incorrect. Right, ready for the next one? Oh no, I didn't do the special thing. Oh, well, we'll just have to go through this one together. You can see it's correct. So you can talk about why it's correct. Jed and Harry went in Mrs. Clark's car for our Christmas video. Now there's a little clue as to whether that might be correct or incorrect, because the technology has failed me here. But you should be holding up your smiley face to say that that is correct, because the apostrophe and the S are showing that the car belongs to Mrs. Clark. So that is a possessive apostrophe used correctly. So well done. You should all have got that one right, because I gave you a big old clue. Right, next one. Let's see. Let's hope it works next time. Yes. We weren't sure whether it would snow or not. We weren't sure whether it would snow or not. Have a look. Is there an apostrophe that's been used correctly, or is this sentence incorrect? So it needs a sad face. Hold up which one you think. We weren't sure whether it would snow or not. I have decided. Ready? Drum roll, please. Incorrect. I hope you have all said it's incorrect, because there's no apostrophe there, is there? I wonder if you can point to the word that needs the apostrophe. Can you point to the screen? We weren't sure whether it would snow or not. Hopefully you are all pointing at the word weren't, because that's two words, isn't it? Were and not put together to make the word weren't. So we need an apostrophe in between the N and the T, don't we? Well done. Right, next one, ready? When we are showing resilience, we shouldn't give up, even if something is hard. When we are showing resilience, we shouldn't give up, even if something is hard. Has that one been used correctly? So you need to hold up your smiley face, or is it your sad face that's been used incorrectly? Let's have a look, see what I thought, see if you're right. Bing! Correct. So we can see in the word shouldn't, there's an apostrophe, and that is used correctly because the word should and the word not have been put together to make the word shouldn't. So that one is correct. So well done if you got that. Right, I think this is the last one from what I can remember. We have two Emilys in Dragonfly's class. We have two Emilys in Dragonfly's class. What do you think? Smiley face or upside down smiley face? Hold it up to the screen. What do you think? Let's see, shall we? I have said incorrect because we have two Emilys. So do you remember we're saying in that sentence we have more than one, and when we do that we don't need to use an apostrophe if we are talking about lots of something. So we would say we have two Emilys with no apostrophe before the S in Dragonfly's class, because that S shows that there are two Emilys, not that they belong to anything. Okay, So well done if you got all of those. I hope you enjoyed that little game. I did. Right, the last writing thing I'd like you to do, if you've got time, is to write in your book one example that we have come up with that was wrong, and one example that we have come up with that was right, and then explain underneath how you know they are wrong or right. So have a look at my example. So I chose the incorrect one of we have 2 Emilys in Dragonflies. And I've written underneath, this is incorrect because the S is to show there is more than one Emily. Okay, and then I did, my correct one I chose was Jed and Harry went in Mrs. Clark's car. And I have said that is correct because the car belongs to Mrs. Clark. So can you choose 2 examples, one that is wrong, one that is right, and then just write for me underneath how you know that. Again, if you've got time, that would be fantastic. Superstars. If you want to do something a little harder, you could go through each single sentence that we came up with in our game, and you could write how you know it's right or wrong for each of them if you want something a little more challenging. That is up to you. So, well done. What a fantastic week's learning of English we've done. You have all worked so hard and I've been so impressed. Obviously, unfortunately, I don't get to hear too much about what butterflies have been up to, but dragonflies, your adults have been emailing me, telling me, and some of you have been working so hard on your independence and have been completing the videos completely on your own. And that makes me so, so proud of you. So if you're one of those people, an extra clap for you because that is fantastic. So you should be very, very proud of yourselves, but you all should be proud of yourselves because you have worked so, so hard, and I have received some brilliant work, and I'm going to upload some of it now onto our celebration page so you can all see what you've all been up to all week. So have a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you all next week. Bye.